Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to that Connect 3-6 presents The Bears Den. Papa Bear's in the building, along with Mr. Tui in the building. What's up, man? All right, word up. So we're gonna get into this thing right out the gate. We're gonna talk about a little bit of parody. We're gonna talk about how life has changed and how things have been going. Since now he's officially a grown man. Shout out to being grown, all that good stuff. All right, and a grown single man, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, y'all hear it? Oh, ladies, watch out. He's in these streets.
You never know.
Nah, ladies, he ain't in these streets. He's in them buildings with them books. Ladies and gentlemen, that's right, too. He's off in college doing the big thing right there. Very proud of him. So, on today's show, I want you to kind of, walk us through, what it's like to be basically, a child of two different worlds. You got on one hand, you had the, early on in life, you had the strong bringing up, from a father who, is a United States Marine, very stern, very straightforward, and then you got to transition from that and move out from the East Coast to the West Coast, experiencing all different life and flavors and things like that. So, just kind of tell us what you think the difference is in, let's just start off simple with the living style, the difference between being a kid in Atlanta, Georgia, versus being a kid and transitioning as a kid in Portland, Oregon, or Pacific Northwest.
Yeah. So, as a kid here in ATL, it was really simple, You got to do the sports, got to do football, a little bit of basketball. You have your close friends, you got your cousins, got, here I had my, it's more of a disciplined type of, I guess, living world I've been in, more, more statured, more, hey, be smart, you be conscious about your decisions, at what age, you grow up a tiny bit more, and then, wow.
Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? I'm not saying that he's saying.
And then, whereas you take a long 6-hour flight, 5-6 hour flight to Oregon, and it's a lot of things. The principles it's changed.
Yeah.
And it's more of the people you're with. I think when I was there, I was 12, 13 when I first. I think getting there. It was more of the environment I around was more rowdy. It was not a little more rowdy. It was more
kind of laid back, loose kind of
laid back, loose, and everything was so serious. You got to enjoy your time with your friends. You got to do just wild stuff, and because it's Portland, Oregon, opposite of this, a lot of it, and instead
raise it in a glass of milk, huh?
Yeah. And instead of what I was more used to here, it was more change of let's go out, let's go to downtown, because downtown was at 8-9 o'clock, you could check out some stores, go to a couple restaurants at that age, just because more stuff was open at that time.
Okay.
And then if you weren't in the city, you just be out with friends. You get to a lot more trails and parks. You just get to go to, just get to do more opportunity for stupid stuff.
Okay. Well, that's how life works. You get older, you get more opportunity for stupid stuff.
Yeah, and once I hit that, I think I hit the main transition at like 15 to 16. I'm gonna be honest, I became a little more of an edgy, little bit of a rebel kid,
Okay.
At that time I was against heavily against police. That heavily view them as extremely negative, just because at the time it was me and the few black people there versus everyone else. And I guess one thing at the time I did miss about Georgia was here, they don't like you, they will say it to your face.
Yes, indeed. Shout outs for that plain out obvious racism, like right there in your face.
And although we don't
You
like
know where you stand.
although we don't like it, it's to the very least honest. And one thing I loved about Atlanta is there was always mostly honesty, and you could easily tell, oh, that person is fake instantly, and then you instantly tell who was honest, who was more open and just straight with themselves. Whereas you go to Portland, it's more of they just want to get. For me, it was more of my friends wanted to be more friends with you, just because they didn't have a friend like you. They want to. They want to be like, oh, let me learn more about your culture, so I don't seem that white to my friends that I'm actually cool.
Oh, shout out to Token from South Park.
I never know. His name was Tolkien.
Nah, that was that bull. That was that bull. They were avoiding getting in trouble, so they made a whole episode talking about Tolkien. No, they had been calling that black kid Token from day one. It was slick, though. It was slick.
Yeah.
All right.
And I think up there, for sports wasn't not like Georgia and all that. Sports was more. Wasn't at the same. I want to say velocity. I don't think I mean that, but the word I'm thinking of right now is velocity. To where Georgia is, you got your diehard Atlanta fans everywhere you go, no matter what. We could be doing better, but you had your fans no matter what happened. They kept their hat, they kept their jersey, no matter what. You take a trip to Oregon, you see a couple people in Trailblazer jerseys and Seahawk jerseys. That's it, and everyone just. Not that many people took it as seriously. Because I was a sport kid growing up. Football, basketball, football, football, basketball. And that's
started with soccer, though.
Soccer. And up there, it would be, right now, I'm going to guarantee that most people up there are watching the World Cup than here. Because, we like a good football game. We like going to see the Hawks play. I don't know if it's just our culture, just what we don't. Not as many of us, and especially in Atlanta and Georgia, just don't watch the World Cup. And it's just from what we were growing up watching. It's based on, it varies from household to household, but the majority just, you wouldn't go up and say like, hey, you see that Argentina versus Germany game? You're not from here, are you?
Right. We play football on Sundays, right? So they didn't play yet. You know how that works.
Yeah.
No, but just a small course correction in that. Atlanta has become a lot more of a melting pot.
Yeah.
There are a lot more transplants in Atlanta that are international transplants than ever before. A lot of people from the Africas, from the South Americas, so you see it a little bit more. And then coupled with the fact that it's been an outstanding marketing plan by Atlanta. Atlanta has the Atlanta United Squad. So, people actually pay attention and come out. In my very neighborhood, you can drive up and down and people actually have Atlanta United flags hanging out their door. So it's a little bit of a culture change. It's not as down home football, baseball, and basketball and nothing else. It's definitely grown, but it's still a long way off from places that don't have their particular football team or their basketball team that they get behind and they ride and die behind. It's still the Bible Belt. It's still the South. It's still very conservative. So it's you're gonna have those that, you know, on Saturday they're wearing their Georgia Bulldog hats, and on Sunday they're wearing their Atlanta Falcons hats, and then everything else, you know, during baseball season you might see the Braves hats, and that's about all you're gonna get.
Yeah.
You know, so it's still some of that, but it's definitely changed. Tell me what it's like, you know, being a kid and going into that situation, like in schools, like where, you know, in Atlanta area, you might be in a predominantly black school or a mixed school, to going to a place where, you know, for every 25, 35, 40 kids, you're the one. You know, what's it like being in that type of situation as a young man, and then, you know, growing up in that type of thing? What's that like?
We'll say the transition from going from a predominantly mixed school to just straight almost a very predominantly white school was definitely a hard transition.
Yeah.
Because I was carrying the norms that I would have, you know, from the schools here, and just things that were just normal, you know, like simple things like roasting each other on the daily, you know, throwing words out, just chilling like that. Down here versus up there, it felt more timid to like open up, because remember in the beginning, I tried to open up like just straight once, you know, just throw myself in, and instantly just, whoa, you're definitely black, like in that same type of like.
They try to touch your hair.
Oh. So many times.
Try to put them greasy fingers in your hair.
And it'd be so annoying, because at that age, I understood it was like a transition, but it took me a while to be like, why are they doing this?
Right.
I didn't understand it. I just thought every kid was the exact same with the exact same intentions, like a mixed school would. However, growing up and transitioning from that middle school to high school stage in Oregon, I started to see why some people did those things, and then it was always, you know, I started to notice that most of the white kids never wanted to seem bad or get ridiculed by anyone else. They always wanted to be the ones that always just feel at the top, that wanted to, you know, be liked by everyone, and just, you know, try to be the top of the top of the school, where even the teachers start sucking up to them. And when I saw that most were just trying to be my friend, you know, to be like, hey, I just want to ask you questions to see if it's cool or not to do certain things, so, you know, other people don't ridicule me. And I think in the beginning, trying to make friends, it was hard, you know, because I was thinking, we're cool. And it was, I think it took me 2.5 to 3 years to finally figure out that and not be taken advantage of. And I think by that time it was, I started to find my circle, slowly started to find my people, but not fully yet. Like my 2 roommates were my great friends in high school. We weren't that close in middle school. You know, we knew each other because of sports, you know, there. And we, we'll say at the beginning, if you don't instantly try to be within that group, like within, you know, your few people of color, if you don't find them or anything, they'll slowly start to shun you, trying to think, because they'll start to think that, oh, you're slowly being whitewashed. You don't have your culture. You hang with the white people too much.
Right.
But at that stage, it's like, I don't know where to go. I didn't grow up with these people. I didn't go to elementary school.
Right.
You know, I don't know who's fake, who's not. I just had to trust who I can to be friends with people. And one of my good friends now, Graham, shout out, you know, I'm gonna make you watch this. He was one of the first people that I met at that middle school, and
White or black?
White
or black?
Indian.
Okay.
White and Indian, but his Indian features are a little more showing.
Okay.
And
All right.
he just straight friends, didn't ask about anything, just yo, we play football, we play basketball, hung out, invite me to his house, you know, showed me some places around the city. He got me into skateboarding and longboarding.
Okay.
And he got me into, you know, a few little hobbies here and there.
Shout out to the kick flips, and the turn flips.
And he started introducing me into things that, you know, at that time I would have probably not found out in Atlanta that I would have liked. So such as I do think that, you know, Atlanta is now more progressive than, let's say, me growing up as a kid back then to now. But I think some of the stuff that I learned within it, like some of the music artists I learned, and music styles, because at that time I started, I didn't think for hip hop, I didn't really start getting into hip hop when I moved until 8th grade, high school. I started listening more to a little bit of EDM. I started listening to more of a little bit of jazz, just random stuff, and just stuff he would show me. And
Well, you know that was more genetics. You understand that, right?
yeah,
Because, you know,
some of that.
I don't know why, but I'm thinking somebody in your immediate lineage, somebody right off of your family tree somewhere was, you know, very unorthodox when it comes to music. You know, this person's music tastes aren't that of the normal of his melanated skin preference. So, you know, it's good that somebody else was showing you this stuff, but the reason why it hit your soul is because, you know, your soul is built a little different. I mean, I'm no doctor. I can't say for certain, but I can see that.
And yeah, and I guess I started learning through it. Instead of taking like Spanish or French like normal people would in high school, I took sign language. And it's something you wouldn't instantly think about, like, why would you take that? And then you start to learn more about like the deaf communities and all that, and like the multiple different things that were in Portland that like were deaf ran, and so many of these important people were deaf, and how strong the language really was.
Right.
Like, I had no idea American Sign Language. There's Black American Sign Language, and there's like all different. It's debatable.
It makes sense.
There's
As somebody who doesn't know sign language, you say that makes sense to me.
Yeah, and there's like so many different languages within it too. But it's sometimes there's a lot of signs that are just universal. And I think sign language was one of those, like, going off topic, but it's just one of those languages that's like, you can do it, a baby will know what you're doing, and if you just do a simple motion like hungry, need food, anyone in the world will probably know what you're talking about. And that just interests me so much that it's anyone can just learn it, and you wouldn't even have to probably learn some of the language to understand certain things.
Right.
But once you like learn the actions, you learn like the eye contact, and then the eyebrows, and all that goes in it. You're basically just speaking with your hands.
Yeah.
And black people do that all the time.
Exactly.
And it's just being more coordinated.
Okay.
But
Very cool. Very cool. So, from transitioning from middle school to high school, and you hanging and developing friendships with people like Graham, like you said. How did? Oh, no, what that was? I think it was one of the hairs on my chinny chin chin.
The little gray ones?
No. Leave the Seven Sisters alone. Shout out to the Seven Sisters. That's right, the Pleiades. My seven whites. But anyway,
8 now.
Whatever, because you here. So, how do you think the interaction was as far as going into high school and dealing with teachers? Not so much the students, but how did the teachers receive you coming in?
It was very mixed and varied. At the time, I think one of my chemistry teachers, really good example. This was before COVID and no help at all. Didn't understand why. I was doing the best I could. I was getting decent grades. Yet when I come to her like, hey, I need help, she'd always find an excuse like, oh, here's this opportunity that you could do. I'm like, I can't do that at sports. But she would always find an excuse to not directly help. Yet all these other people that have these opportunities and had gone on to a teacher, just normal, just, hey, mind helping like that? And just some stuff like that. She'll help like a little extra, oh, all you need to do is look at this, use this element for this, and boom, there you go. Yet, I remember it was only people of color was me and a very, very light-skinned chick who sat like at the other side of the classroom. But you could tell was white passing. And I didn't want to be out like, oh, it's gotta be racist, right? And I guess for me, I always created an excuse to be like, there's no way it could be like this plain and simple to my face, because if I try to go to like the higher ups about it, I felt like the whole thing will start and
that was ridiculous.
And it'd be
okay, so it had to be because you were a C, D, and F student, right?
I am an A student in all of my science classes.
Shout outs to them A's. Shout outs to them A's. That wonderful brain that sits on his shoulders. That came from me. Okay.
Your brain from me.
Your
music from me.
That's right. That bull, not from me. That's why you're so bad at it. Shout outs to Thanos. No, so okay, so then we have established straight A student, not a troublemaker, and teachers like this would still try to find a way to not give you the help you need. Ladies and gentlemen, it's crazy that we got to deal with stuff like this in society, but I mean, it's out there. It's out there. Okay, so moving on a little bit. Now, you played sports in high school as well. What were your coaches like? What was their belief that you would be or what you would do, and then what did they actually settle on you being? What was up?
Yeah. So remember my very first coach for freshman year.
What sport?
And for this gonna be for basketball, and then football I had separate but kind of similar.
Yeah. Typical high school.
Yeah. For basketball, we had the head coach of the varsity, then you have your coach of the JV. And you just one for freshmen, right? And our freshman team was very nice. We were whooping JV any day and giving varsity like an actual run. But every time we go person, right? And I remember there was only at that time 4 black dudes in the entire system. 3 of them was on freshmen. One of them
naturally, that's why y'all were giving them that work.
and one was on JV. Not a single one When I was in freshman.
Just vanilla horizon on varsity, you know.
And there was one dude named Kai. He was going to be, playing for varsity, then stopped. And Kai is 6'6",
Decent size kid, yeah.
Decent size, and because of Barry West, for the school, he was, tallish, center, can dunk. He was going to be their big boy for 6'6". Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
6'6" in high school center. You asking to give work.
Exactly.
You ain't asking to give work. You getting that work.
And eventually, he just went out, and we were confused, like, oh, how many chicks you can get, dude? Being a star center at 6'6"? And he always said, like, yeah, not gonna name any names, but the head coach just bad news. And we didn't deal with him as much, but when we had full practices of all of us, and we always win versus. And me, I'm always the strong, because I think it was soccer then football. I just remember that I was always defensive, strong, do the dirty work type of player.
Do tell how strong you are, and wonder where it came from. This is amazing. Let me stop. Go ahead.
I mean, when you're right, you're right. You gotta show it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Wisdom at Youth right now. We're going to change this to the Wisdom at Youth hour. So,
yeah, and I would always be a hard worker for that. And then other dude would be shooter, absolute lights out. And then the other one just freak athletic, 6'3", and also the receiver and get yam on anyone.
Jump out of the gym.
And then I remember he would always make we'd always play defense, and I'd always outwork the dudes, because all right, I'm gonna earn my spot. He'd always make remarks like, "What, are you scared of him? Go against him, go." Be like, okay, don't say that to anyone else, but we move. And just little remarks here and there. Every time 6'3" dude got a bucket, he'd get mad at the dude who got scored on. Never outshining us though. Every time boy hit a 3, where's the defense at? And I just, at the time, I just wanted to shine out, because we had a lot of audience when we at our games. I'm like, I want that fame for that. And still remember that one game in freshman year, had a game winner. I had film proof of that. Oh, green bean. Oh, so nice. And of course, where's the head coach at? Not even there. Not even supporting other teams of his stature. But you know what? Moved on past it and went to football. They had me at fullback and guard, because for my size. But this was freshman year.
Okay. All right.
But
it's a bit of a stretch for you as a guard at freshman, but okay. I guess I can see that. Fullback, I mean, another natural thing, but okay.
Yeah, we still didn't have that many, but we had a little more. And always to us, but this time it was opposite. It was always like, hey, let's go. Only to us. Only. And it felt like, are you saying this out of your heart? And this was with the new coach coming. This out of your heart? Is this for the team? Or the higher ups of the school telling you to do this?
But now, when you say, they would say, all right, let's go. Did you believe, excuse me, did you believe that they were saying it from a point of they didn't think that y'all were trying because you were black, or what did you think their intent was?
at the beginning, I thought it was like, we're getting congratulated. But after some time, it was like, I didn't know if it was he thought he expected so much out of us, and whenever we did something good, it was, oh my God, we got a good one. But I will say a lot of the suspect stuff that a lot of the coaches said, it was very, very near hidden, but you could tell. If it was happening to you, you could tell. But it was at the point where you can't really go to the higher ups because technically they're not doing something wrong. They're
saying something without saying something.
Exactly. And a lot of coaches and teachers did that. It's where it's saying something, but you know it, but you can't describe it.
Right.
But you just know that it seems like it's ill intent.
Yeah, it's a feeling.
And even if it wasn't like on purpose, there were definitely a lot of like just microaggressions from teachers too. Like this super, what was his name? Just absolute nerd.
Okay.
No disrespect, just huge Dungeons and Dragons dude who loved just absolute stereotypical nerd, right? And people go up to him like, oh my God, what sport do you play? He was 5'9", 140. Ooh, what do you play?
Wait a minute. So, why would they think he played something? I mean, 5'9", but I mean, was he like a gym rat / nerd? Like
he was a little strong.
Okay.
Right. Like he had some like a little muscle to him. But his appearance did not show he played any sports at all. He picked up all big afro, glasses.
Oh, this is a black kid?
Yeah.
Okay. See, that was it. I see you. I didn't see you, but now I see you. You slid that one in on me. I was thinking we were still talking about a white kid, so I was like, but okay. Yeah. Token, you come in the door, they already think that you were born with a pigskin or a round ball in your hand. Okay. We back on the same page.
Yeah. And just a lot with that. It felt like they were trying to cater for us. But it was so sometimes blatant that it just felt like you were only doing this either A, to make sure your diversity rating was decent, even though it was merely the whitest school in the whole district for that high school, or you just want to feel better for yourself to try to cater for us. And I think an instance for this was the whole, the whole district. When we graduated, they had an award.
Okay.
And this award was called the Black Honor Roll Graduates.
Say what?
Black Honor Roll Graduates. Not like normal honor roll. Not like everyone's on honor roll. Let's read everyone's names. We were called. I remember we were sitting at assembly, and that principal said, we are now reading our PBS sponsored Black Honor Graduates, and please stand as I call your name. And the nine of us stood up.
Wait a minute. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Okay, so this was in addition to their honor roll, or did they have their like a white honor roll and a black honor roll? Like
they had their normal valedictorians and all that, and then didn't have an honor roll, but then they said, all right, now we're gonna say our Black Honor Roll graduates, and these are just the graduates who at least graduated with a 3.5.
Hey, you said it was like 8 people?
And we stood up and we all knew each other.
Yeah, no shit. Hey, yo.
That's exactly what we did. We stood up, we were like, Oh,
Wow.
what's good? And then
A black honorable.
it was.
But now, you must have traveled back in time, and this was what, 1959 that this happened, right?
This was June of this year. And apparently this award has been given to years in the past as well. So this was a continuous traditional thing. You got it to be in the newspaper and everything. Your little black head was right there. Specifically for you. From each different schools.
Wow.
And funniest thing, they didn't put you in a normal newspaper that everyone would see, like the Oregonian. No. They put you in the black newspaper.
Stop playing.
BullshitLevel.com.
It gotta be.
No, I remember, because it was near impossible to get that newspaper, and the only way you can get it is going to Northeast, the black part of Portland.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, this stuff still goes down. This goes down. It breaks my heart to hear my own flesh and blood have to go through this, but I know that this has made him a stronger, more resilient young man, and it's going to prepare him in life for being better than he would have been had he not gone through it. Now, with going through all this stuff, did it do anything to sour your views or opinions of the white populace or generally white people, or do you have the type of mentality where you think it's individuals, or do you think it's a whole race or group of them? I mean, what do you think this comes from?
I believe that it's firmly still in just given by institutions, and the fact that institutions seek so much to diversify everyone decides to actually listen and figure out what can be done to naturally and do it right, instead of just get their diversity numbers up. And I do, and especially for white schools and even the college I'm probably going to now, just gonna tokenize you and tokenize your race just so they can up another diversity number. And they, but the way I look at it now is not to hate it for it, because the institution's always going to be an institution. While there's always going to be old white men running it, there's always going to have the exact same views from it, and it's always going to be into that unless something just majorly gets hit within the next 25 years. And I feel like it's going to be a continuous pattern. But I feel the way, actually, instead of looking at it as a full negative, I feel what I'm trying to use it as is against it. Like using it to use it for against it. So, like, yeah, tokenize me. Do what you want. I am going to use every single incentive you give me, plus more, from your tokenizing me. So I'm going to use every scholarship you're going to give me for my color. I'm going to use every dollar you're going to give me. I'm going to use every opportunity you're going to give me specifically because they look like this, and eventually get to that stage where I'm able to have that much money to be an actual changer into the world, and then slowly changing it from the inside out and using it against itself.
Ladies and gentlemen, wow. It's absolutely, the heart is beating out the chest like the Grinch when it finally hit. It's like wilding out right now. Ladies and gentlemen, like, subscribe, put them comments down, and pay attention to what's going on here. Just a few short weeks ago, I was having the same discussion with one of my fellas about this type of thing and about change, getting society to change. And, my son has literally said, without talking to me about it, literally said the exact same thing. And, our walks of life have been very, very different, but we both came to the same conclusion, which is the way that the machine works and the way that the machine runs, you are not going to change it by throwing darts at it as it runs. You have to get into the machine to change the direction of the machine. They're not going to let you drive just because you're black and you waving outside and be like, hey, I want to drive. The machine will run all over you. But if you get that machine to stop to let you in, and that machine doesn't see you as a threat, that machine doesn't see you as somebody trying to, oh, okay, let's not do this, let's do this. Once it sees you as part of the machine, as a cog in the machine, then you can start changing and altering it and making it better. But the only way to do that is you have to be part of the machine. You can't just cuss it out and be mad at it. You got to get in. And he just now said that, ladies and gentlemen. Did my heart well. So, wow. So with going through all that stuff, and you coming out and you realizing, well, first of all, let's just tell the people what school you go to, because it's DeVry Technical School, right? It's not Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle University. Is it Watisha's School of Hair and Design? No. What school do you go to?
University of Oregon.
U of O, ladies and gentlemen. U of O. That's right. My son is in a Division I top league school. Pac-10 and all that good stuff. It is Pac-10, right? Yeah, Pac-10 school. For all the sports heads out there. Them ducks out there. Only thing I love out there is Phil Knight and them swooshes. All day, them swooshes. But so, ladies and gentlemen, you're hearing from a young man who was a straight A student, straight B or A. Yeah, straight A student. He's going to a Division I school. He's busting his behind, and he's still seeing the type of things that can hold a people back. And in your life travels and in your life experiences, you've realized that sitting there and complaining about it is not going to change it. So it's funny because you've actually seen the other side of the spectrum from me. Because I've seen the side where they want to hold you down and do things to stop you from progressing. And it wasn't until I got to get away from those type of influences to get around people of the lighter complexion who actually gave a damn about you, who loved you and seen you as the same and equal, for me to realize, you know what, not everybody's like that. You got to see it from, in my opinion, a nastier side. Because it's one thing, like you were saying earlier, it's one thing to grow up and, hey, that Mr. Robinson over there, we already know he don't like black people. So we know we don't deal with him at all, because we already know what he's going to say. We already know what's going to come out of his mouth. You dealing with, from that to dealing with now, they'll smile in your face, and the second the doors close, you all type of no good nigga at that point, unless you could throw a football or throw a basketball into a hoop. Then you can help them out all day. But it's only unless you have something that can help them out, and they want to poke and prod and figure out, are you that person? Okay, he's decent height, decent build, and we know they're born with pigskins and round balls in the crib with them. As soon as they come out the mama's womb, there's already a ball and they're already bouncing it. Like that's the mentality that you've dealt with. And that could be a whole lot rougher, because if you're not that, then the second they realize you're not that, they'll discard you like yesterday's trash. And then you're sitting there like, wait a minute, I thought y'all were I thought we were all cool. I thought everything was good. You could do nothing for me. Get away from me. And you're always trying to figure that out. So I absolutely commend you for being as strong as you've been. And all I can say is keep keeping on, man. Keep keeping on. You're doing strong work right now, and you're representing the team very well. Representing well. Absolutely. Couldn't be prouder. So, bit of a ramble right there, ladies and gentlemen. Like and subscribe, and leave them comments below.
Hit that subscribe button.
Absolutely. But as you were saying, University of Oregon, very high academia type student. In that transition from high school to now college, do you see it as more of the same, or are you more of a number, or how is it now that you've transitioned?
Yeah, well, the transition, it's definitely more of a number.
Okay.
But it's more of a number, but they're going to try to appeal to you as much as they can from that number perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to try to send you as many emails and extra stuff like that to make sure you're aware of the diversity, opportunities at the U of O, and then making sure, hey, these diversity scholarships open up then, so just so you know. Or it's, hey, you should go see this event. Did you know that it was ran by this black woman? And then just like that. But it's a lot more, it's a lot, not as much in your face as high school.
Yeah.
Because at the university, they have thousands of kids they have to appeal towards, and then at that, hundreds of students of color, to try to appeal towards as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the transition to it felt as if at the beginning it was definitely like, oh, maybe it's just a college.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they don't have, they don't just care about themselves. Maybe, they truly are active for change and like people for their numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Not just people for the numbers. But as soon as I looked into it and saw that if you were mixed with something, and they would put you for two races. So like they would say, you're Malaysian, they would put you, oh, that is one African American and that is one Asian. And they would put that in their percentages and just let it rise. And when I saw that, I'm like, nothing changes. Nothing's gonna change.
But the weather. Nothing but the weather. Okay. So, but being one thing I've always said is to know the beast. Don't just complain about it. Don't just talk about how unfair it is. Know the beast that you're about to tackle. Know the beast that you're going against. And once you know it, you can really find out how to use it to your advantage. And it sounds like you were doing that. Like, okay, I want to do all this, and all right, use me. Make me your token. But I'm going to take all this stuff with me. Like Fantastic Mr. Fox. We took it all! You take it all, dog. That's cool. That's cool. I'm glad you're mature enough to realize what's going on and to see it for what it's worth, and not just a way to hold you down, but a way to, find a way for you to get to your goals. And that's fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. Do you think that as far as being in college now, do you still have that let me touch his hair thing, or is it not really a big thing anymore because there's more in a bigger school environment, or what?
Yeah, definitely, because it's more of a bigger school. It's a lot more people from different places.
Mm-hmm.
literally so many people from California, like all
Right.
over there.
Right.
And then I do think I think it's with transitioning into like a new, not a new society, but just how kids are now being put into an adult setting, because of course kids my age in this generation haven't been put in that full independent adult setting yet.
Right.
I think
especially with COVID. Yeah, you guys had to grow up inside basically for the last 2.5 years or so.
Definitely. And I think it's the fear of one not getting called out for it, because I think once you hit an adult and no one really knows you like that, you can call out people. You can call out people, and then you can make it school wide. And if you do like anything, and just because they had to for university, like diverse wise, if you get like called on for anything, like trying to touch someone's hair, and you touch someone's hair, and someone and like say I complain about it, of course the higher ups gonna be like, you can't do that.
Right.
No. I think it's that fear of they don't want to get something happen to them themselves, because they're already ignorant, and so from that I do think it's the fear, but I do think that some people do know and have matured to be like, okay, they are people. Cool. Alright, I'm going to respect that person as well. I do think there are a lot more people from high school and transitioning that have matured to realize that. But I think the people that haven't, I think it's more of either the fear that something's either going to happen to them, or that they think that not at that point just yet to fully start, being their true selves, I think. And I'm in a dorm right now, so it's probably definitely gonna be less, because word can spread like a hot fire in a dorm.
Right.
So I can't speak on experience, living in an apartment and stuff like that. But just out on campus, I'll get the stairs. We'll get our stairs. Be like, I haven't seen you before, and like stuff like that. So you will definitely get stares, but direct contact with you, like with that, it's a lot less, I would say.
Okay. Do you have any of the female persuasion trying to see if the myth is true yet? Sometimes you gotta put it on the table, son. You gotta show them what you're working with, because they want to know.
Of course, I'm not gonna disclose the person, but there has been once
Okay.
at a party, and
Okay.
I've asked about it.
Okay.
Right? And at the time, I was like trying to do my wrist talk. I didn't think of anything at that moment, but when I got back to the dorm, I did a little bit more thinking. I'm like, just trying to see my.
Comedic timing genius, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So sometimes it helps being a friend of a friend, if you know what I mean.
It does.
Oh man. Oh, this has been fun. This has been mad fun. So, again, this has been King Bear, along with the fruit that has fallen, but not far from the tree. The man named Tui over here, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for coming out. Tui, tell them where they can find you on social media and all that good stuff, man.
Yeah, y'all can find me at actually I'll do the Spotify. You can find me at MVLKS. Hit me up. I'm gonna put a new song on there hopefully soon. You can reach me on my socials at Malcolm Cole 2. Spelled just like him, just with the number 2 on Insta, and that's where you can find me now. More stuff to come soon.
Outstanding. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first, you heard it here second, and you heard it here last. Like they said on Friday, ain't but one location, so it's nearest you. King Bear's in the building. Tooey's in the building. We're going to catch you on the next one. Peace.
Deuces.